Welcome back to the POSTCAST. I'm Ross Levitan. Forgot to introduce us right off the top. Pillsy, I was just so fired up that the Senators get to send everybody home happy for the first time in 6 games at home. Senators 4, Calgary Flames 1. Dustin Wolf, I was worried. I was worried when they showed the starting goalies. They said, hey, from the WHL from 2017 to 2019, number 1 in saves, number 1 in save percentage, number 1 in goals against average. Then the next 3 years in the AHL, they showed the same stats. First. But not tonight, as he gets his first NHL loss. He was 1-0 last season. What'd you think as a goalie-friendly show for any Flames fans out there? Dustin Wolf's performance tonight. Was he the reason why the Senators won, like his W last name teammate Joseph Woll was on Wednesday?
Nice. No, I definitely don't think that Wolf was to blame here. I thought he played all right. I mean, the Batherson goal, what are you going to do on that? That's just an incredible hand-eye coordination play by Drake. The Joseph goal, that's a tip in front. The Chartier goal, absolutely no chance for him there. And then I'm blanking on the Hamnick goal. Maybe he wants the Hammer goal back. That's probably it. But overall, a good game for Dustin Wolf. He had a couple good saves where he gets over. And that Norris one-timer that he stopped specifically, he had a couple good saves on Chychrun. But I think Flames fans, you've got a good goalie ahead of you. It's just going to take some time here. And you got to figure out how to get him in the mix with Markstrom and Vladar there. It's kind of an awkward situation.
Awkward situation all around in Calgary. Nikita Zadorov, agent, made it widely known yesterday that he wants out, and he looked disinterested at times. Like he was happy to take that interference penalty against Drake Batherson after he lost his stick or snapped it at the ozone, and he was just casual on a few plays. Was it him who Batherson went around to set up the Rourke Chartier goal? I think it was behind the net. Yeah, he jumped boards and Zadorov. I need to double check that one, but overall it was the Flames aren't good. It comes down to that. We have to keep in mind. I think that's why, everyone's happy to get the win. There's still a game under 500 right now in Sens Nation, but at the same time, it's like, okay, if you didn't get that one, it was more, I think we would obviously get a more stark reaction. But right now it's like, okay, one step in the right direction, go over there, have a couple practice days and see what happens.
Yeah, 6-7 looks a whole lot better than 5-8, Ross. So I'm just I'm glad they got this win, and they needed to give the fans at the CTC something to cheer about here. The Glebe Central Pub shuttle bus to the Sens games, you got to bring those people back to the GCP with a W so they can celebrate.
Yes, so put your panic button away, Sens fans.
Gone.
Because
in the drawer shut.
Next time you see the Ottawa Senators in this country, they might be above 500. We can hope. They've got 2 opportunities overseas, Minnesota, Detroit, and then we'll reassess when they get back. But let's assess tonight's game. Number 1 Sens Central standout is...
You take it.
Joonas Korpisalo.
Boom.
He was great early. He was great often. Huberdeau did not make any moves on that breakaway, but it was a breakaway save nonetheless, and still worries me when he thinks he's going to play the puck.
Yeah.
But overall, he was very good. Starting quality goaltending from the Ottawa Senators, Joonas Korpisalo tonight.
Yep, agreed, Ross. I definitely wanted to give Korpisalo some love. A .960 save percentage. How are you? You love to see that. And I'll say it again, but Korpisalo continues to impress me with his play down low. I really find when he's in his butterfly and he's got a scramble, maybe he's not the best at locating the puck, but he does a good job of making sure he's got everything covered down low so that if he can't find it and sticks are flying around, there's chaos and guys are getting rebounds, as long as they're not lifting it up, he's probably got that ice level covered. So definitely shout out to Joonas Korpisalo here. And there was a bit of a scare near the end of the game where Kadri got tripped up and ran into him, but I think he's going to be okay, and you got lots of time to rest here. So I'm not too concerned about Korpisalo on that one.
So what do you do? What do you do in that situation? You just hope, because you're not gonna take him out as a precaution, because he had his right leg outside of the post. It was just the worst possible angle. So thankfully stayed in the game.
Yeah, I was a little nervous that they might have thought about putting Forsberg in there, but obviously it wasn't that bad that they needed to do that. So I'm happy to see Korpisalo finish this one off and try to pad those stats a little. He's got to get a little a boost in numbers here.
Swanky Pants, is it time
Swanky.
tonight a number one goalie in Ottawa? Or are we still rolling this tandem? Thanks as always, boys. Thank you, Swanky Pants.
Mr. Pants, I would say Joonas Korpisalo, number one goalie here. I would like to see, at least for the time being moving forward, Korpisalo being treated as bona fide number one starter and Forsberg as a backup.
Is that when they get back from Sweden? You can't take Forsberg to Sweden and not give him a start.
No, I want to give Forsberg a start in Sweden, but I think you give him the Minnesota game just because that game up against the Red Wings is much more important. And Minnesota Wild haven't had a great season, as you talk about goaltending struggles. Ross, I think we were talking about this the other day. Minnesota Wild is among the worst teams in goals against. So let's give Forsberg a chance up against them and keep our number one guy, Korpi, in the net against division rivals.
We'll have 3 days next week to preview the Sweden game.
No kidding.
The Detroit game comes first. Detroit on Thursday, Minnesota on Saturday. Tonight it was a 4-1 win. Korpisalo, number one standout. And for number two, who choose you?
I'm going to go with Claude Giroux, Ross. I know maybe in the maybe you have Mathieu Joseph in order there as number two, but I want to highlight Claude Giroux's game. You guys know in the postcast, I love talking about the face-offs. It's such an important part of the game. I feel like it gets overlooked. And when you're talking about face-offs with the Ottawa Senators, you got to talk about Claude Giroux. He goes 12 for 18, good for 67%, and they showed it on the broadcast. I love the way DJ Smith is just like, hey, Claude, I know you're tired. I know maybe this isn't your line out there. Maybe this isn't the situation you want to be in. Go out there, win the draw, hustle back to the bench. He did that shorthanded. He did that on the power play. And this guy just gets it done. He's such a calm, classic grizzled vet that just knows how to work through the ebbs and flows of a game, let alone a season. So I love watching Claude Giroux out there. I feel like we've been hard on him, kind of not being as dominant or maybe noticeable is a better word out there. But this guy's still above a point per game pace, and he has another great game tonight.
You know who doesn't have a great game tonight? NHL.com for me. I can't even open the face-off summary, but that's my own.
What do you want to know, Ross?
I want to know all the face-off stats. Like the Ottawa Senators snap back 57%, but they really do lean on Claude Giroux. That's what made me think about it, is that Claude Giroux on the penalty kill a couple times, took the face-off and got off right away. So Are they lacking confidence without Casty in the lineup to have that second face-off guy? How did the other centermen do on Ottawa? How did Tim Stützle and Josh Norris snap him back? And tell me Rourke Chartier as well, as he gets his first goal of the season tonight.
Yeah, well, I looked right to Rourke Chartier right away, Ross, for shorthanded face-offs, and wasn't his night in the dot. He goes 3 for 9. But then you look at Brady, 3 for 3, 100%, not too shabby. And then 6 for 7 for Tim Stützle, 66%. So they were spreading it around. But I mean, Brady Tkachuk, he's not playing shorthanded. Timmy does play shorthanded once in a while. But I think when you just have a guy that's as automatic as Claude Giroux, you just put he's a face-off specialist. You just put him in there when you need him and get him off.
Well, Timmy had an 85.7% night in the dot overall.
Tonight?
Yeah, I think you were looking at shorthanded, weren't you?
Oh, no, I said 6 for 7, not 67%, 6 for 7. So, yes.
Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah, that's nice from Timmy.
So, you're going with Claude Giroux, rightfully so. Led the team in expected goals percentage tonight as well. Was just a leader. Looks so good with the neck guard, too. I feel like it goes in with, he just needs to get the Sens, like, the logo that's on their shoulder, and then he's literally bringing back the Yash and turtleneck. That's what we need here.
Yeah. Ross, I'd like to see more players wearing the neck guard. I know it's not comfortable, blah, 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 but I think especially with the black jerseys, it's a nice look first. And then obviously you want to protect yourself as much as you can. Hockey is a crazy game out there. You might as well give yourself the best chance of protection as possible.
Hockey is a crazy game. Like when you go,
hockey is awesome.
When you go 56 games and you get 3 goals, none at even strength. And then you can come out the next season and shut everybody up who was doubting you. That's what Matthew Joseph has done this year. He gets his 4th goal of the season, and it takes him into game 13. He's dominant with his speed. He's a great penalty killer. Like, I'm so happy that he's been able to turn around this quickly. He looked lost last year, and it just goes to another reminder that when players suffer lower body injuries and speed is their number one attribute, you have to give them the benefit of the doubt over the next 6 to 8 months, or at least the next season, to fully recover. Because imagine if they had paid a 1st or a 2nd round pick to get rid of him, and he was doing this.
And Ross, they needed Matthew Joseph to figure things out because they were lacking a speedster on the 3rd line, right? And he is a guy, well, he doesn't play in the 3rd line, but in that type of cap slot on your team, right? Making just under $3 million. And Matthew Joseph, he does a really great job drawing penalties as well. He drew 2 penalties tonight, and that's the kind of guy where he's just got to know that his speed is such an asset. Just keep your feet moving, and you're going to create plays, or at the very least, you're going to draw penalties and tire other teams out when they're on the ice. So, like you mentioned, Ross, all the stick taps in the world go to Matthew Joseph for the way he's been able to turn this season around compared to last.
And he used that speed to get a breakaway in the first period. Jake Sanderson on a shorthanded opportunity, we used his skating and found him right in the perfect kind of it was like a through ball in soccer where he skated perfectly into the puck. And got to give credit to the young goaltender Dustin Wolf, who made the save on that particular opportunity. Now, Pilsy, I wish Martian was here, because Martian was pretty tough on Drake Batherson after the last loss, and he came out here, and he's the 4th player that you want to highlight as a Sens Central standout.
Hey, I went to bat for Drake Batherson last postcast when it was not a popular opinion, let me tell you that. And I thought he really kind of doubled down this game, playing a lot better. And you know what? Last game, I get it, guys. That was a game where the Ottawa Senators only scored 2 goals. So I was just picking one of the goal scorers because there wasn't a whole lot there. And Drake Batherson was directly a result of turning the puck over for a goal. But right after in the media, he says, you know what? I know that's 100% on me. That's my fault. I got to be better. And I thought he was a lot better in this game. He gets a really nice goal where, like I mentioned, great hand-eye coordination. You can see him watching it, boom, times it and snaps it in. I wonder if he played some baseball out east as a kid, Ross. Maybe we can find that out, because it looked like he had a good almost a bunt there where he's able to get it, and Dustin Wolf has no chance. And I just thought he's stronger on the forecheck. You're not seeing him turn the puck over as much as he was certainly at the beginning of the season. And I just think, obviously, as a player, you don't want to get demoted in the lineup. And when you go from playing on a line with Brady Tkachuk and Josh Norris to anywhere else, it's more likely than not you're being demoted. But I feel like he's a guy where, if you give him less ice time, there's less 5-on-5 for him to make those brutal defensive plays. And he's a little more fresher for the power play, where he's a lot more lethal and a lot more successful. So I think switching Tarasenko and Batherson, that's what we called for, Ross, when we were looking at the lines. What do we want to change? How can this team be better? DJ Smith, he does it. And it turned out a lot better. I thought Batherson looked better in his spot, and I thought Tarasenko looked great on that line as well.
The Ottawa Senators win 4-1 against the Calgary Flames. The scoring summary: Matthew Joseph opened for Ottawa, assists to Jake Sanderson, who just had such a perfect pivot, bring to the middle, snap in a deflectable shot, and Joseph takes advantage. His 4th of the season, Sanderson's 7th assist, and Tim Stützle with a beauty seam pass, his 13th assist and 1st of 2 tonight. Then in the second period, as Pilsy said, Drake Batherson stepped up to the plate and batted one out of the air after Tkachuk kind of, cradled Jacob Chikrin's rebound. So Tkachuk's 4th assist of the season. Chikrin gets his 7th assist. And then Blake Coleman scored on a 2-on-1 where Travis Hamonic was walking in quicksand at the offensive blue line, gets beat, and there's no recovery there.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Hamonic for sure. And then, I mean, Brandy, I guess that's the right play, but when you're 5'1", diving on the ice doesn't cover a whole lot of surface area, so I don't know if that's necessarily the right play. But you do got to give stick taps. It was a nice pass, and Coleman puts it away. So what are you going to do? That's going to happen once in a while.
You know what you're going to do, Pilsy?
Here.
First, you're going to do nothing on a 5-on-3 just to put the temperature a little bit higher in the building going to the third period. And then the two most unlikely sources, Rourke Chartier and Travis Hamonic, will each score their first goal of the season and put this game away in a span of 1 minute and 22 seconds. Rourke Chartier scored his 3 minutes and 50 seconds into the third off that beautiful tic-tac-toe passing play. Drake Batherson was so solid forechecking. He should literally watch that play on repeat the entire trip to Sweden. The zone entry with speed, try to make a move, get a puck on net, go retrieve it, battle down low, and make a play.
Well, and he had great forechecking with his goal up against Vancouver as well, Ross. So you know what? Maybe Batherson, his defensive game and the turnovers are looking really bad, and they have been bad. But the forechecking, I will say, especially on a line where he's kind of the guy that's going to be expected to do that over who was he playing with? Kubalik and Yarventi on that third line. Like Batherson's got to be the driver on that line. And I thought he stepped up, and I thought he really elevated his game, even though he got demoted in the lineup. So, stick taps to drink.